Reed. I'm at Johnny Brenda's, our bar in Philadelphia, and like many people facing the COVID restrictions and the changes that COVID has produced in the restaurant industry, we're focusing almost entirely on outside dining. It's a challenge. It's starting to drop. Today is about 52 degrees, I think, and we found a lot of people obviously are just getting cold and are reluctant to sit outside. We invested pretty heavily in outside dining to try to keep our business alive during this COVID pandemic. This whole structure is relatively new. It's only a few months old, to provide a little bit of weather protection from people sitting outside, to provide a little bit of light, some coziness, and also a feeling of protection from the traffic, of course. So we have 4 picnic tables basically under here because they're separated by a little, about almost 10 feet each. But we found that as it got colder, especially after the sun went down, people were reluctant to sit outside for good reasons. So what we came up with was heated seats. And what we have is electrically heated seats on each of our tables. You can just unplug them if you want to control them. They basically keep the customers warm and able to be comfortable here without trying to heat all the air around them and without enclosing them, which is kind of the goal of the COVID restrictions in the first place, is to have it outside. First looking at the radiant floor technologies that were out there, and most of them have wires in them and were a little bit complicated and a little bit hard to implement. But then I found this mat, which is made for greenhouses, made for propagation houses. And the difference is, there's a few. One is it's a film technology, so it's absolutely smooth. There's no bumps at all. And that, of course, is a plus when someone's going to be sitting on it. It already comes wired very simply with a plug, and it's made for a wet environment as well. So I think it's one of the safest options you could come across. One of the nicest things too is that this is a stock size that the manufacturer makes. It's 11 inches wide and it's 5 feet long. And like most people, our picnic tables are 6 feet long. So that leaves a little bit on the end that doesn't get heated, but that actually doesn't really matter all that much is what we found. Having the ends very close to it, that's not usually where people sit. Hi, so we moved inside. It's a little windy outside, so we can cut the fabric for the benches. These are the sheets of plywood we have. They're a 1/2 inch thick, regular utility grade plywood. We cut those about 1 inch bigger than the dimensions of the picnic table seats that we're trying to cover. Then Josh is right now cutting the batting, which is a white pad that is put on top of that. We want to have that cut about 2 inches bigger in each direction to be able to wrap the plywood around the edges. And then we cut the vinyl, and we cut that 1 inch bigger than the pad so that we have, when that wraps around, it covers everything, and then that'll be stable. So Josh has the whole piece of plywood wrapped. So it has the heating element right against the plywood, the batting around that, and then the vinyl around that. It's all secured with a staple gun along the back. And the final thing will be to carry it outside, center it on the picnic table bench, and then screw it down. And what we used was stainless steel screws with trim washers. To be able to put something in that won't rip around the vinyl. That's what the trim washer's for. So as you saw, the heat pad is a little short of the plywood. So we have almost 6 inches at each end that don't have the heat pad. So we'll limit ourselves to put the screws in the last about 2 inches from the edge. So we won't obviously go through any of the heat pad. And that'll secure us to the picnic table bench. Actually, this screw is a little short. I would actually use these screws to be able to get a good purchase into the wood. So about a 1/2 inch of plywood and then about a 1/2 inch bite into there. And that's what we've done outside. We've been using them for a few weeks now, and no, they've all been functioning perfectly. There's been no visible wear and tear. So now I'm showing you the finished product, joined here by Dolly, our beautiful spokes model. We have the 2 stainless steel screws in the end that secure the plywood and the whole heated seat on top of the picnic table bench. And then I'll show you at the other end over here, we have a wire come out and it's secured along the picnic table and then plugged in against the wall. I wanted to make this video to show everyone how easy it was to make these seats and make it a little easier in these tough times for some other restaurants and bars that are trying to cope with the cold weather and trying to retain customers outside during the pandemic restrictions. I really hope this is useful to people. I found the supplier for the heated seats, Kevin over at the Heat Systems company, answered the phone himself and was a great help, and everything got here right away. So I wanted to give a little shout out to those guys, and hopefully this works for you guys too, and we all can get through this pandemic together. Thanks.